The final non-negotiable that I want to discuss is one of the most important because it supports the other three in recovery. Rest. Very often, burnout is paired with insufficient rest. Not just a lack of sleep, but a lack of the kinds of rest that actually allow the system to reset. When rest is missing, even the most meaningful creative work can start to feel heavy. Not because the work has lost its value, but because the system hasn't had enough opportunity to restore. Hello and welcome. I'm Janet, architect turned creative renewal coach and watercolor artist. At Blueprint to Brushstrokes, I work with mid and late career creative souls who feel emotionally depleted and disconnected from their creative work, or unsure how to sustain creativity alongside an already very full, very real life. My work isn't about hustle or output. It's about recovery, reconnection, and building a creative life that is sustainable. If that's where you are, I've linked my free Creative Confidence Reflection Guide below, as well as a link to the North Star Mini Reset, if you'd like gentle, structured support to help you get started. This is the fifth of 6 videos in my mini-series, The Creative Non-Negotiables, Redesigning a Creative Life After Burnout. These videos have been dropping every day for the last 5 days and will be collated in a playlist tagged here. So, if you haven't already, please watch the first videos to help lay the foundation and understanding. This series also connects to my videos, How Do We Stay Creative When Everything Changes? And You Can't Recover from Burnout Without Changing Your Life, which I will also add to the mini-series playlist. We're often taught that rest means sleep, and sleep matters deeply. But many people reach burnout not because they didn't sleep enough, but because they didn't get enough rest. And rest isn't one thing. It isn't a single activity, a day off, or a vacation you earned after pushing too hard. Rest is a capacity building practice, and it needs to match the kind of depletion you're experiencing. If you're emotionally exhausted, physical rest alone may not help. If you're mentally overloaded, sleep without mental rest won't restore clarity. This is why people so often say, I rested, but I don't feel better. Rest comes in different forms, and each one supports a different part of your system. There's physical rest, which includes sleep, gentler movement, and stillness, letting the body repair instead of perform. There's mental rest, which means fewer decisions, less rehearsing conversations, moments when the mind can finally stop scanning and solving, and finally settle. There's sensory rest, less screen time, softer light, quieter environments, reduced stimulus, fewer competing signals constantly asking for your attention. There's emotional rest, spaces where you don't have to perform, explain yourself, manage others' feelings or expectations, socially mask, or hold everything together. There's creative rest. This can mean both taking a rest from creating by receiving beauty without producing, letting inspiration arrive without demand, allowing yourself to be moved instead of always making. But there can also be engaging in creative expression as a form of resting and recharge if you haven't done it for a while. And there's social rest, reducing obligation, choosing safety, engaging without masking who you really are, whether that means restorative solitude or being with people who let you be fully yourself. Burnout often happens not because we stopped resting altogether, but we keep resting in ways that don't address the kind of exhaustion we're actually carrying. This is why rest is not optional in recovery. You can redesign your time, you can create safer space, you can change long-standing patterns, but if your system itself doesn't receive the kind of rest it needs, everything else becomes harder, heavier, and more effortful than it needs to be. Rest isn't an indulgence. It's necessary maintenance. You can't keep driving your car with the gas tank gauge on empty, no matter how meaningful the destination is. Resting when needed is how the nervous system learns that it doesn't have to stay on guard. It's how capacity returns and how creativity becomes sustainable again. Burnout isn't solved by trying harder. It's eased by listening more carefully and responding with the kind of rest your system is actually asking for. In the final video of this series, I'll bring all 4 non-negotiables together: time, space, patterns, and rest, and talk about how they work as a system and what happens when one is missing. Until next time, wishing you a grace-filled day that is kind and nourishing to your creative life.